You read that Tim Kennedy book, right?
Yeah.
How he starts out in the beginning, and it's like you thinking like he's in this crazy zone. He talks about how like he was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And they were on a manhunt. A guy that got out of jail.
Yeah.
They were chasing. It's like
Dude,
the same thing.
Dude, he's got a. That book is great.
Dude, insane. If you haven't read that book, like.
And what was the name of it again? I'm drawing a blank.
It's
Scars and Stripes.
Stars and Stripes.
Stars and Stripes.
Yeah.
Scars and Stripes, right?
Scars and Stripes.
Scars and Stripes. Yeah. Man,
Dude,
he did some wild shit.
Yeah, especially like the plunger story where he's out there just like people are rolling around on the ground and he's just out there just shooting them to make sure they're dead.
Dude, yeah, he has.
Or the grenade.
And even the stuff with the sex trafficking.
Oh,
He talked about, it was pretty sure it was Houston. He was running some ops when he got back from the military, and he sat down with this guy who was running girls. Pretty sure they were minors. And at the same time, the Super Bowl was going on.
Yeah.
So the local police were like, "Hey, we're fully over here at the stadium to keep the safety. We don't care about the situation." And Tim's going, "Fuck this!" Like he ran up in the hotel, went up to the dude, and dude was like, "Fuck you, pussy!" Like. I know that you got no jurisdiction. You can't do shit about it. And he was like, I could easily kill this motherfucker right now. He deserves it. But then my kids are sitting at home without their dad, and I'm in jail.
All the stories he has, like
crazy.
Just crazy. Like if someone came up to you on the street and started telling you all these stories, you'd be like, you're full of shit. Like, but like these stories that like the whole thing with like all the girls pregnant and stuff like that. Then the one girl that had AIDS,
swimming out in the middle of the ocean,
swimming in the ocean naked.
Yeah, Coast Guard grabbing them.
Like, or the sat phone.
Yep.
When he finally got out of Afghanistan, because all the planes left.
Yep.
And like he said, those people back stateside, like it was like not.
Yeah,
senators.
he thought he was gonna die.
It was not senators, but it was someone that his buddy was helping. That was an officer. They were talking about like. Selling cocaine to these drug dealers to hijack a fucking airplane to go pick them up and shit.
Oh,
They didn't hear from them and all that.
Well, he's been around the world, and I'm sure he's well connected in these intelligence communities and and
even that like hunting Hitler thing he did.
Yeah, that was a great show too.
It was pretty wild.
I watched it after I read the book. Yeah, it was really good.
It's pretty wild how he talked about how like he got locked in that compound and shit. Like,
it's super wild shit. He's a gnarly dude. He's actually, he's got sheepdog response.
Yeah.
Which is training a lot of, elite people, but also regular people how to, handle a gun, situations that you potentially may get in and you need to protect yourself, your family. And then also I think the coolest thing that he's doing is his schools.
Yeah.
My wife is a retired school teacher. Thankfully, we're blessed to be able to bring her home. And we have another friend. I don't want to say too much. Not that Tim's going to see my podcast. Hopefully he does. But she's in the last interviews to bring one of his schools here. And the concept is to do more regular hands-on training, tools, screwdrivers, critical thinking, not the traditional program that we see nowadays. And I know in Jersey, there's a lot of people, and again, we're a liberal state, and there's pods popping up all over the place.
My wife homeschools our kids.
Yeah.
It's just.
What do you think about the homeschooling? Obviously, you believe in it.
Yeah, it's tough because like I grew up in the public school system, and I'm like,
different now.
I didn't even graduate high school, and I'm like, I turned out fine. But I think our kids thrive, being homeschooled, and there's not that much pressure on them, and they're smarter than if they went to school. And then all the bullshit that goes on in school, like all the stuff that gets pushed. I do think if you have a strong foundation at home, it's hard to manipulate your kid, but there's just too much crap going on. And she's like, I'm not sending the kids to school.
Yeah, my wife was in it. She's pretty laid back. She wouldn't fight the school system. She played by the rules within her abilities.
Yeah.
But she had a kid that wanted a kitty litter. They went from a boy to a girl, and then it identifies as a cat, and just the transgender stuff. Do whatever you want to do, but in young kids, it's a tough thing for me to swallow. And then you hear about the groomers in the school system. You hear about what the books.
I didn't realize till like I was older, like how liberal the school systems are.
I mean, it was given up by the Republicans, how many years ago, and little by little, that was the indoctrination of the country, right? How you slowly divide everybody, and it's through race and sexual orientation, and it's a sick thing that we're not cool with. Our son's in a prep school now. He's 4. But he won't be going to public school.
My thing is, like, I don't really care, like, what you identify as, but, like, you don't got to groom the children.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, stop pushing
You're
your
an adult,
views
it's one
on
thing.
everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
and, like, I tell
Especially
people,
kids.
I have no issue with what you want to be, but, like, why do you have to push it? You're the one causing the problems.
And if I push
like,
back at all and I have a different opinion, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? I could be potentially canceled from talking about this on YouTube, right?
Right.
But, you know, you're an adult, 25, 35, 45 years old. Hey, go do whatever you want to do. But, you know, nowadays, because this gender transformation started happening really a good amount of years now, and a lot of those people are coming out and being like, I was kind of manipulated as a young kid, and, like, I want blood. Like,
yeah.
I'm fucking suing. They're coming out and speaking against it. You know, obviously they were born with a cock, and now
Right.
they have a different part or no longer have that. It's, you know, just think about how much that messes with somebody's head. They went through that as a child. It's just nothing that needs, even politics in general. It doesn't need to be pushed on a kid inside of a public forum.
Right.
And you know, back to Tim Kennedy, they're making sure that their schools don't have that shit, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest thing that blows up for him.
Yeah, he's
the powerhouse.
He's got a lot going on. Super knowledgeable, super connected.